Hello everyone. I wanted to take a few minutes to introduce you to the Blackboard course since you will be taking this online and won't actually be coming to class with me. There will be a few differences between what you're going to do at home and what the in-class students are going to do. And I just wanted to make sure that you understood where to find everything and also how to contact me if you needed help. So when you log into Blackboard and you see your course there, you will be taken to the home screen or the Start Here page. And this is what you'll see. And you'll get an introduction to each of the tabs that are over on the side, the left side of the course. I'm going to just take some time now to go through a couple of these and show you where the important information is that you will need as you continue in this course. So I'll use the announcements to mostly keep up with the in-class students. If I have to cancel class, I'll post an announcement. If I need to change things, I'll post an announcement. So just make sure that you check that about once a week, just to make sure that you are staying on top of any changes that may occur. The Course Resources tab is where you'll find a few relevant pieces of information. And you'll find the syllabus here, and I have to update the syllabus, so I'm not going to go through that with you right now, but I do encourage you to go through the syllabus. It'll have my course policies, some of which won't pertain to you since you're taking this class at home and not on campus, but I do encourage you to read through the syllabus because it also has all of my contact information in it as well. We don't use a hard copy textbook for this class. I recreated or reinvented this class over the summer so that it would use an open educational resource. In this case, we're going to use a book published by OpenStax out of Rice University. It is the OpenStax Chemistry Atoms First, Second Edition. There's a link to it right here. But I also have all of the relevant links that correspond to all of your assignments within the weekly folders, and I'll walk you through that as well. The periodic table and the cheat sheets I have here, I would encourage you to download these and save these. You'll refer to the periodic table in almost every unit that we cover, and the cheat sheets contain information on conversion factors, the metric system, the gas laws, some stoichiometry. So these will be really helpful to you as we go through this semester. So the main difference between what's going to take place in class and what you're doing at home concerns the labs. A lot of the labs that we do in the chemistry lab can't be recreated at home, mostly because of the hazardous chemicals that we use. Those chemicals can't be readily bought at the store. However, I did take all of the labs where you could purchase the supplies at the grocery store or the dollar store, and I made some modifications to those so that you can participate in the labs and essentially do the exact same labs that we're going to do in the classroom. A few of the labs, unfortunately, there really weren't any at-home modifications. So what I've done for you is recorded myself performing those labs so that you can still observe what is happening, and instead of it being a lab where you're actually participating hands-on, it's more like a demonstration that you are going to watch, but you can still get all of the data and answer all of the questions that you need to get credit for the lab. So what I've put together here for you is a shopping list for Intro Chem. So these are the supplies that you need in order to do the labs at home. Now, for the most part, you're going to use very small amounts of these. Vinegar, baking soda, both of those are exceptions because we do, we use those a lot. Those are good chemicals to use, and so you'll use those a lot throughout the semester. But I've put all of the supplies in here. The magnesium ribbon and the pH paper that you'll need, I will mail those to you. So I've put a little note here to make sure that the address that we have on file in Campus Connect is correct so that I can get those to you so you can still perform those labs. If there are any supplies that you have trouble finding, then you just need to let me know and I can do a little bit of research and try to find those. I feel like you will have a lot of these supplies in your house already. I don't anticipate that you will have to buy every single thing that's on this list. If you have a pretty well-stocked kitchen or pantry or laundry room, then you will probably have the majority of the supplies that you need. And you can also improvise. You know, sometimes you need some glass jars or cups. Well, you can use bowls. You can use other types of containers. I don't encourage using plastic because some of the chemicals may corrode the plastic. That's why I always recommend using glass. But it can be a coffee cup. It can be a bowl. It can really be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be a jar or a cup. So I don't want you to think that you have to buy, you know, the jars or the cups. You know, if you have any questions about the shopping list, just be sure and let me know. There is one thing that if you don't already have at home, you will need to purchase, and I've put an Amazon link for it, and that's a digital food scale. You're going to have to measure out and get the mass of several different substances in here, and if you don't have a digital food scale at your home, then you will need to purchase one of those. The best one that I could find for the cheapest price was on Amazon. It was less than $15 for the food scale. You may already have one of those at home, and that's great. You don't have to purchase the one that I have recommended. As long as you have, you know, one at home, then you're good to go. So that's your shopping list that you'll need, and that's in your course resources tab. So now I want to show you how the assignments are set up. We cover 6 units. I grouped the chapters into units, and so you can see here the 6 units that we'll cover, and everything that you need for each unit is found within that unit folder. When you go into the unit folders, you'll see that they're broken down into weeks, and I give you a preview of what we're going to do both days in that week. So, for instance, in week 1, the first day, we're going to just kind of get acquainted with one another. You know, if you were taking this in the classroom, then we would just kind of get acquainted with one another, get acquainted with the lab, and we're going to look at some lab safety. Of course, you also need to lab safety at your house. You want to make sure that you have a safe workspace, that you're not going to be disturbed, or that the area that you are using, you know, you don't want kids to run through and disrupt your experiment. With that being said, if you do have children, I encourage you to involve them in the process. A lot of times when I have adult students that have children and they include the children in the process, everyone ends up having a lot more fun. So I would encourage you to include them with the labs. So on week 1, day 1, we're going to complete a laboratory methods worksheet, and you will still complete this worksheet because you do still need to observe safety while you're working on these chemistry labs. And then for the other days, and you're going to see this same setup as you go throughout the course, you'll have your reading, and I've put links to the different sections that you need to read. I also have a PowerPoint presentation that has some of the most pertinent points from the lesson. I don't lecture using PowerPoints, but I wanted to provide these as a resource to you in case you needed them. And then you'll have a video or more. Most of the time you'll have 2 videos, but you need to watch the video. I've embedded it that you can watch it right here in Blackboard, or you can click on the link to go to YouTube and watch it that way. And then you'll have a quiz. And the quiz is going to be over what you've read and what you've watched. And then we will have the daily activities. So, for instance, on day 2, we're going to do an activity with paper chromatography. So this is one of the activities that you can do at home. And then we're also going to do a lab. And again, you'll notice I have at-home modifications. So what you'll need to do is make sure that you read the at-home modifications. And I always give you a little instruction. If you're completing this lab at home, you need the second attachment with at-home modifications. Several items you may not have, make sure you plan ahead. All of those items are on the shopping list. Okay. So for each lab, you'll have a pre-lab. You'll complete that right here in Blackboard. And then you'll complete your lab. And then at the end of every week, you'll see this, week 1 assessment submission. If you're completing these activities at home, upload all of your saved files for week 1. So for week 1, you'll turn in your laboratory methods worksheet, your paper chromatography, and then your data sheet for lab 1. And you'll just upload all of those into one file. You can upload multiple documents to one submission, and then you'll just submit that right here. And that's how each week is set up, so that you can submit everything that you've done in that week in one place. I thought that might make it a little easier. So that is essentially how all of the weeks are set up. And then when we finish a unit, we'll do the assessment. So I just want to take a second to show you your assessment. So all of the assessments are take home. I don't give tests per se in here. These are all at home. You can use whatever sources you want, but you do have to make sure that you cite all of your sources. So you can research and Google, but you just have to make sure you include a references page. Your answers should not match anyone else's, so it is an individual assignment. Granted, that'll be a little bit easier for those completing this at home. And you must always show your work. So when we get to all of those mathematical calculations, I need you to show your work in order to receive full credit. So your assessments are in Word documents, and you can, I've kind of giving you some instructions here that you can type all of your answers on the Word document, or you can print out the Word document, write your answers, and then use Chem Scanner or the Notes app on iPhones to save it as a PDF. Chem Scanner is a free app that you can get for both Androids and Apples. It allows you to take a picture and then save that picture as a PDF. When you upload your Unit 1 or your unit assessments, please don't submit JPEGs. Make sure that you put them all in one file as either a Word document or a PDF. The unit assessments have their own submission here, so you will not submit the unit assessment with the week 4 assignments. You'll submit it by itself. The week 4 assignments are for everything else that happened in that week. So in week 3, you will have a lab that you can't complete at home. So anytime you encounter one of those labs, I put a note here and I've put in a link, and this link goes to YouTube so that you can watch the video that I've recorded and then complete the lab. And you'll complete the lab just like the students in the classroom on campus. The only difference is you'll be essentially watching me perform a demo instead of actually doing the lab yourself. The other thing I want to point out is that kind of scattered throughout here, you have several videos that you need to watch where you're going to answer questions about the video, about what you're watching. These are really short. They range between like 4 and 7 minutes, so they're very short videos. I've put the link in here, and then I'll also put in a passcode, and I'll put this passcode in at the beginning of the week in which these video assignments are due, because they're only good for 7 days. So once I put this passcode in, then you need to make sure that you do all of that work on time, else the password expires or the passcode expires and I can't generate another one. So just make sure that anytime you see these videos with the video questions that you go in that week to complete those. So that is how all of your assignments are set up throughout the entire semester. And I don't give a comprehensive final in here. Your final is your Unit 6 assessment, which is over nuclear chemistry. Another thing that I haven't mentioned is that I don't really do a lot of lecture. I treat this more as a flipped class, and that's the reason for the readings and the quizzes and the videos that you do before you come into class. So I don't do a lot of lecture, but what lecture I will do, I will record and I will upload those. I'm not sure, I'll be honest, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work with the mask. We'll try it tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. And then if it doesn't work very well, then I will start recording my lectures from my office so that you'll get the full effect of what I would say if you were sitting in the classroom. And I will put those within your weekly folders here. I'll put the links to my lecture recordings with your kind of introduction here. So I'll just put a link to YouTube with those lecture recordings. If you ever have questions, please reach out to me by email or by phone or by text. I don't want you to think that you're getting shortchanged by taking this class online. I hope that it is still a very fun, interactive course. So I want to make sure that you know that I am still here for you, even if you are not on campus. If you need to meet with me on campus, we can certainly meet in my office, or you're more than welcome to come into the classroom as long as I know ahead of time so that I can make sure that we have ample space with our 6 feet distancing guidelines that we have to follow. I welcome you to come into class at any time as long as you let me know. So I hope that this video has helped you at least see how the class works and how we're going to proceed. And I hope you have fun. And if you have any questions or if you can't find any of those items on the shopping list, please let me know.